Hello, welcome to another Tonalist Landscape oil painting demonstration. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy, and the painting I'm bringing you today is Golden Path, and it was done back in February, and then I put up a finish video somewhere in June. This 15-minute video is kind of putting those two chunks together in the 15-minute format just because I think it's a really cool painting and I want to share it in that way. So hopefully you'll dig it too. You can see it was back in February. That's summer here. I had the fan on. You can see things blowing, and I was back at the antique shop at that time. And also you get a little bit of my view of my reference, a monochromatic view, which I don't mind too much because the reference itself had a lot of issues, but I think I managed to pull out a really cool painting. And one of the things I really like about this painting is the overall golden tone. But I bring in a lot of really warm, rich greens and things, so stay tuned for that. Um, the live video for this is members only now. And you can see there's a little join button down below. Highly recommend that. Not only are all the live videos members only, which is like, I don't know, 400 hours of, you know, hands-on painting, instruction, and insight with me. I take you through every painting at the same time I'm doing it. It's like, well, actually, I do have students here in my town, and they pay me $35 an hour. A lot of that content's been up for free, but we've made a recent change. And one of the other things, it's just kind of an evolution of the channel, but one of the other things I'm going to be offering members is some exclusive, well, actually, they're already getting exclusive content, but some things that will not be shared in the 15-minute format. Now, one thing you can see about this Golden Path is really how dark that drawing is. The board was extremely dark. And this is when I was still very much into the textured thing. But you can see, whoa, that when I lay down that sky color, it's just like, pow, it's so bright. I'm not working on boards that dark at the moment. Currently, I've been working on a lot of MDF, and as you can see from watching my last video, which is really popular, I'm really thrilled about that, and that's such a super painting too. I love it. It's in my studio right now, drying, and can't wait to hit that with a little coat of liquid and really see what it looks like, you know, with the matte and shiny areas all evened out. Yeah. So I really love this kind of scene, you know, little forest or wood scenes with little paths or little streams in them. I have to say that for a big part of my painting career, I failed at these scenes more often than I was successful because the complexity was just of the reference was just too much for me to handle. Um, but I got better at simplifying and designing things, and I guess that's something I'd want to share. If you're a painter and you're watching this because you're a painter instead of just somebody who enjoys watching paintings occur, and there are those people, trust me. You got to design your painting. Now, this is something I've always sort of known, but I definitely picked this up from a really good teacher whose name is escaping me at the moment. It'll come to me though. I'm sure it will. I followed his blog pretty extensively when I was starting out, and he would always harp on that. And one of the things he did was he didn't like painting from photos, so what he would do is go out into nature with his big canvas and basically work plein air, and then he would bring the canvas into the studio and finish it. And I think that is a really good working method. I've lectured at length about all the problems and traps inherent in working from photos, and I've made all of them so many times it's not even funny. And you might even say, well, Mike, why don't you just go paint plein air like this guy was teaching you did? And I have done it. I've done it a fair amount. It's probably been since 2012 that I've done it with any regularity. But one of the problems with that for me, where I live in New Zealand, is it's an island, and The weather here can be real changeable from like moment to moment. It's sunny, then it's cloudy. It's maybe not as bad as Hawaii, but it's pretty changeable. And my personality type, I like to have control. It's just the way I am. And in my studio, I have complete control. So one of my workarounds for a long time was to do like a small version of the scene, say as a 5 by 7, and I would treat that as my plein air painting. And that was good for a while, but the only downside to that is what a lot of times I would end up liking the small version better than the big version, so I've stopped doing that. Anyway, you can see how rich and beautiful these reds look when they start going down over my. I'd say it's a very dark umber sort of tone on the board. It's also heavily textured, and there are definitely times I haven't been working on texture for the last month, 2 months. I'm really enjoying working on smooth, but the great thing about texture is it really supports you in a lot of ways. You can just kind of drag that brush over and get a lot of neat effects. A lot like I see, a lot of artists do with canvas. Personally, I'm not such a huge fan of canvas. I just don't like the regularity of the weave. I suppose. Oh, and I've said this before. I've said everything on this channel at some point before, but to me, it's like it's a bit of a tyranny. And if what I was gonna say, I suppose if I was working quite large, like 30 by 40, it wouldn't really matter then because the texture of the canvas would be fairly inconsequential. And there's really, if you look into the history of oil painting, you can see that. The innovation of canvas for painting was very foundational in allowing really large works to occur. There's only so big you can go with a panel before it becomes quite unwieldy. Or, you're talking about a mural. And personally, I'm not interested in doing murals because one of the reasons I got into doing oil painting in the first place was to leave something of some lasting of sort of permanence. I was a commercial artist for 13 years and involved in a lot of creating a lot of really cool imagery, but all of it was sort of impermanent, and this always bothered me. I'm not into that. So I want to create works that I think are going to have lasting integrity, And they probably say, well, murals do. No, they don't. Not really, because there's a big mural at the quarry where I work, and it's a wall, and it's actually a relief sculpture, done with earth, and it's quite a nice piece. However, the people in that particular shop, that's the co-op shop at the quarry, were sort of wanting to expand, and they've decided not to, but at some point, someone in that building will say, heck with this mural, we're tearing it down. And I've read article after article where that is what occurs. And so if maybe you don't care if you're into doing murals. I do think murals are awesome. I mean, it's great to do something that large and immersive, but, not for me, thanks. Yeah. Anyway, you can see some of those little things go whizzing by real quick because my archived video for this was the live video, which again, members still have access to that. And the nice thing about those live videos, of course, is that I'm giving you blow by blow. I mean, I don't talk for every second of every minute I'm painting, but I talk a lot. I don't have a problem talking. Anyone that knows me or knows this channel knows that's I don't have a problem chatting, and especially about what I do, because I'm so passionate about it, and really I love solving problems, and I love painting landscapes, and I really love sharing information too, and I'm trying to give a lot of value to those of you that aren't necessarily interested in the member thing, and I can understand that. A lot of people haven't, financial travails in this current economic climate, and don't need another bill, But really, it's a pretty great value if you think about it when I'm charging somebody who comes into my studio for a lesson $35 an hour, and most lessons are 2 hours long. So, you're getting something pretty much the equivalent of that for you know, $5.99 a month. Give me a break. That's cheap. Give me a break. Totally. All right, so we're into the finished portion. I don't know if the speeds, I think the speed looks about the same, if anything, a little faster. One of the main things I wanted to do, I really loved the way it looked, but one of the main things I didn't really love was like some of those, I thought some of the tree holes were a bit distracting, so I kind of plugged that up. Also, I did add some very, actually, I wonder if I did. I don't know if I did. I was really debating for a long time. I really loved the black trees in this. I thought they were very attractive. And I don't believe I ever changed that. I was considering at one point doing a little work on those. Actually, it's been since June, so I don't remember if I did or didn't. We'll both find out together. And you know, I do have some new stuff I just painted in the studio, but I want to get it to one is a really nice little like kind of lake scene. It's a sunset, and there's just a few little things I've got to do to it, which wouldn't be enough to justify its own video. So, while it is at a state where it could be shared on YouTube, I don't feel it's you know, like we're talking about some little reflections in the water and things. We're talking about a 20-minute painting session to just put a little buff on it. So that'll probably be next week. And I've learned the hard way to really take my time and be patient about well, the thing is, like, if you're going to put a painting back on the easel, certain pigments are going to go very matte. The black likes to go matte. The raw umber likes to go very matte. And then some bits are shiny, some are matte. You've got to either oil it out with a rag, or sometimes I'll hit it with the liquid. And just to do that same thing where everything's, you know, one uniform level of shine. And so I can judge my values correctly. Otherwise, I'm totally painting in the dark, and I don't like to do that. But I have learned the hard way not to rush that process and make sure the paintings are good and dry. Not only especially for the liquid, because it seems to have some sort of what's the word? You know, solvent. You know, it has a bit of a solvent in it. It's like some aspect of the liquid must be mineral spirit based. I don't know, but I've hit paintings too quick with the liquid before, and just to see, I'm aghast because I get to watch my painting, whole big chunks of it just disappear. And oh yeah, so no, I did put some more stuff in the trees, but they're still quite dark. Yeah. In fact, I think that was a good call. They're perceptually nearly black, but it really did make it look a little more natural. I had a heck of a lot of fun finishing this scene. I still have the scene, and in fact, I just recently photographed it, so I'm going to try and get that in the store, I'd say by next weekend. As a matter of fact, I should probably quit goofing off. So, I mean, this isn't goofing off, but you know what I mean. I've got photo processing to do, and that generally entails getting rid of little specular highlights, which is just boring, monotonous work that were I, you know, a really rich guy, I just pay someone to do all that, as I would to photograph the paintings and to do the video processing and uploading and my social media and everything pretty much except painting. But it's all good. It's all good. In fact, I probably will. I'm glad this came up because I'd forgotten that I do need to do that. If anything, I'll make a point to do this one next and get it up in the store because it's really beautiful. I've had a lot of people interested in it, and it's been sitting in a box in my studio because I have my box of things to photograph. Every now and again, I've had someone say, "Oh, is this one for sale?" And I'm like, "Well, I haven't really photographed it yet." And they're like, "Okay," and I probably would have sold it because at least, I mean, I do have like a video record of the painting session. But anyway, thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And, there's going to be a little video there with the asking you to join if you're interested. Until I come back with another video, take good care and stay out of trouble. Hey, did you know that this channel has memberships? What's included in the memberships? A bunch of live videos, and I mean 80 videos, hundreds of hours, and all you've got to do is click on the little join link down below, and there you go.